What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on Get Up, they're going to be talking about the Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones and where he might be playing next year. So let's see what they have to say about that.
Kimberly, what do you make of the situation in Atlanta?
Ryan, this is just the reality of salary caps, of situations bad. When teams struggle, when they give out bad contracts, when guys don't perform, and that's not speaking about Julio Jones, but I mean, this is the reality of it. He's 32 years old. Arthur Smith, you just heard him. He said, we've had contingency plans. Like, we know what we're doing. This is what we're trying to do. They've been trying to trade him. Nothing has changed. Everybody in the NFL knows that Julio Jones was available. The question now is, does it change? Does the compensation change now that Julio put it on blast that he is out of here?
Now, so Julio Jones is an absolute baller. So his stats may not reflect it from last year because he only played in 9 games, but he's still a baller. I would like to see him sign with the Los Angeles Chargers. I'd love to see Justin Herbert and Julio Jones paired up. I think that'd be an excellent duo and an excellent way for Justin Herbert to kickstart his career in his second year with the Los Angeles Chargers. And I still don't understand why Julio Jones wants to leave the Atlanta Falcons. You would think the Atlanta Falcons would do whatever they can to make him happy, to make him not want to leave. But apparently he wants to leave, and hopefully he can go to the Los Angeles Chargers and take care of business there too.
Yeah, and that was the surprising part right there. And you look at that right there. You trade him after June 1st. You save a lot more on the cap. Here's the thing, Jeff. It's interesting that he's saying this out loud because in some ways people look at this and say, you're really hurting your value there, Julio Jones, by saying this out loud. So what do you make of this situation?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think he's forcing the hand of the Falcons, right? I mean, because you've messed up the value of the trade. Everybody knows you don't want to be there. Now Arthur Smith's having to get there and say, we've got contingency plans. We may move a different direction. So everybody's going to sit and wait, right? Why are we going to trade for a guy that might get cut in June and we can get him for whatever we want? We're not going to give up picks. So from the Falcons' perspective, it definitely did damage that he came out and said he's out of there. I will say this, though, Ryan. In my opinion, unless you could get just a major haul for Julio Jones, it doesn't benefit the Falcons to let him go or try to trade him. Honestly, with Kyle Pitts, their new draft pick, I think 4th overall, and you have Calvin Ridley, that offense.
And Kyle Pitts is a beast, by the way. I just had to throw that in there.
Would be so much better, and it would be such a good starting point for Arthur Smith, who's coming in from Tennessee for this Falcons offense. Keep all 3, man. Make this thing happen, right? This is how good offenses can win in the NFL with a below-average defense, and that's what they're going to have for the Falcons. I don't understand that. If I'm that building, I'm keeping Julio to get this offense going for Matt Ryan for at least one more year.
And I think.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I've been thinking that the whole time. I don't understand why the Atlanta Falcons will let it get to this point with Julio Jones, who's a top wide receiver and been a top receiver for years. Why would they let it get to the point to where he wants to leave? I know they haven't really been able to do much. I know they went to the Super Bowl and absolutely, got demolished with the Tom Brady came back and the biggest comeback ever in the Super Bowl and all that. But still, to have him want to leave like that is, you got to make that man happy. Give that man whatever he wants. Julio Jones is a top wide receiver, is the top guy on your team. But since he wants to leave, I guess, you're going to have to appease him because you're not going to get much production out of a guy that doesn't want to be there. So you might as well send him on over to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Marcus, you're keeping him too, right?
Somebody had to say it, damn it. Thank you, Jeff Saturday. My big dog said it. Listen, this is simple for me, right? If the value has been lowered because Julio said something.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell the value went anyway because he was a good football player last year, even dealing with injuries. But the bottom line is what Jeff said, getting on the field, right? We could talk about Julio being traded. Everybody knows what the situation is. But on the field, think about this division, y'all. You don't think the Falcons need Julio Jones in this division?
That's right.
We just saw Tampa bring all 22 back. When we know what New Orleans is trying to do there from an offensive standpoint, the Falcons play no defense. 0. They need Julio Jones, to Jeff's point. But with that being said, y'all, when you think about these guys getting further along in their career, and another similar situation is we saw Patrick Peterson out of the Arizona Cardinals, now with the Minnesota Vikings. Totally different situation. But these teams are moving on from guys that I feel like at times have 2 or 3 good years left. And that's the conundrum I have. I understand the money part of it, but y'all know how I am about the damn money. You make the money work if you want the guy bad enough.